Welcome back to Flash Talk, Golden Flashes fans. It is brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Dan Griffin alongside the head ball coach, Todd Starkey. And, Coach, coming off the heels of an impressive 13-point win over a game Eastern Michigan squad. So congratulations on getting the ball rolling here as we start the 2023 season, or schedule, I should say.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it was a hard-fought game. I thought we did a good job of really controlling tempo from the start. You know, it was, I think the key stat for me looking at the game was the fact that we led for 39 minutes and 25 seconds of the game. So got out to a quick start and were able to really kind of maintain control of the game throughout.
Yeah, you guys got off to a blistering pace. I think you were shooting over 75% to kind of start that game. And Corinne Hauser kind of really got the offense going. I think she had 5 of the first 7 or things like that. And once the ball started going in the hoop, it became contagious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to play more aggressive, as talented as she is, and I thought it was a really good sign for her to come out. And the shots that she got were good rhythm shots. She wasn't forcing things, but she stayed aggressive early and took what she was given. And I think that opened things up for, like you said, for the rest of her teammates. It was good to have. You know, we had 4 in double figures, and then we had 2 other players with 9 points, so close to 6 in double figures. It is always a good sign. It's tough to defend that.
It took me right to my next point. Was like we mentioned Corinne's hot start, but it led to, just like you said, tremendous balance throughout up and down the lineup, to where at any one point in time you could ride a hot hand, because you guys basically kind of passed the baton, it seemed, for 40 minutes on who was feeling it on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, a great stat line for Corinne: 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and in about 30 minutes of play. So, once again, that's great productivity, but not just for herself, but setting up her teammates as well.
Yeah, and you're going good if you can get a buzzer beater to walk away happy.
Yeah, and she acted like she meant it. So it was kind of once again, she's a talented player, and that was a nice little caveat there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the defensive side of things, because you really seemed to frustrate an Eastern Michigan squad at times. I think you guys got the lead up to as many as like 19 or 20 at one point, and really with a team that as talented as they are, they only go about 7 or 8 deep. You really seem to, like you said, push the tempo and really kind of test the mettle and the conditioning and of Eastern, and you could kind of see that as the game went on.
Yeah, I thought we wore them down in transition, especially. Obviously, Ozzy Mamadou had a great game. I think 11 for 14 from the floor. We got to quit letting a single player go off for those type of field goal percentages, but in this case, it worked in our favor. I mean, she's a load. She's a lot to deal with. Thought we did a really good job defensively on Skanes and Lachelle Austin as well. We held Lachelle Austin to, I think, 4 of 17 shooting. So perimeter defense was good, and she went off for 22, but next closest score was 10, and then single digits after that. So good. I think if we would have probably emphasized a little bit more on the interior, maybe that opens up the exterior. So I thought we did a good job overall of executing our defensive game plan and holding a talented team in the 60s.
So you get the victory here, and now a 2-game road trip, including the longest one of the year, a trip to BG, a pivotal one this weekend, and then you guys turn around and you fly to DeKalb to take on a talented Northern Illinois squad. So 2 pivotal games before we get back to the friendly confines.
Yeah, I mean, a tough little stretch here. I mean, this middle part of the conference season kind of sets up to, arguably be our toughest stretch. We'll see. I mean, in this league, you never know what that's going to look like. But as far as the road games, the combination of teams and where the teams are at this point in conference play, at BG is always a tough place to play. Great fans and a raucous crowd over there usually. And BG, seems like they have an extra gear when they play at home. And then, the long trip out to Northern Illinois is always challenging as well. So 2 tough road games. Everybody's got to go through that at some point during the course of the season, and that's proving ground. That's where you establish yourself if you can, but it's going to be a tall task.
Yeah, it's kind of especially when I believe like. It seems like you said, I think 6 teams are in the mid-major top 25, or at least gaining votes.
Getting votes, yeah.
And I believe like the top 8 or 9 in this league are within 2 games of each other. There's not a lot of margin for error here, to where like games like this, like you said, not only are they pivotal, but the rest of the conference are going to try to be keeping with pace with basically everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we've often said is in the women's side in basketball, it's one of the reasons why it's one of the toughest leagues in the country. No matter how you look at it, it's because from 1 through 12, you have really quality programs, really good coaches, talented players. Every game, I don't care if you're the first place team, if you go on the road to number 12, whoever that may be, you're in jeopardy of taking a loss. And that's how it's been all 7 years that I've been here. And the other coaches in the league would agree with that. It's just a really tough conference grind. And that's what we're rolling through at this point. But everybody else has to do it as well.
Absolutely. So does the message then change when you guys are going away from the MAC for a couple games? Hey, it's our turn in the rotation to do this quick little road stretch. Does that message change to your team, or is it the same basically game in and game out, preaching that message going, hey, we've got to bring our A game for 18 straight and then on into March, because if we don't, we could be looking up at a bunch of other teams if we start getting into a rut, so to speak.
Yeah, no question. I think it's all a mindset thing. When you go on the road, you have to look forward to it. You have to look forward to the opportunity to go into somebody else's arena and play well and try and find a way to steal some wins on the road. So the mindset that you have going on the road is really important. We've always tried to have that. We look forward to road games, and it can't be something that we're afraid of. So that's our mentality as we're going into it. And I think any road game in this league, you kind of feel like you're playing with house money a little bit if you can go in there, and because you're supposed to win at home,
right, in
this league. If you don't hold a good record at home, you're not going to do much as you're moving through conference play. So, that'll be our approach, to continue to try to be a better version of ourselves moving forward. And Bowling Green just happens to be the next game up.
Do you guys do anything in particular to keep things more lighthearted on the road or the bus? I mean, you got 3 hours to kill on your way to BG and then a flight to Chicago. So there's some downtime, some team bonding. Is there anybody that kind of takes the reins in leading some nonsense or some team activities when you guys are on the road?
Yeah, we have a few. I mean, I don't have to manufacture that a whole lot. They do a pretty good job of that themselves. I mean, Lexi Linton, Claire Kelly, seem to be right in the middle of that stuff. We've got a couple other players on the team that will jump right in with that stuff. So it's a group that really likes each other, cares about each other. They enjoy being around each other. They're just like sisters. Every now and then they get a little annoyed with each other, but for the most part, it's a great group. They manufacture their own fun. I really don't have to find things to keep them distracted. They do that on their own just fine.
Fair enough. I didn't know if there was a screening process. The coaches going, all right, I'm not watching this again, and just kind of going through it. You leave them to their own devices.
Yeah. It's a little different than back in the day when you're putting in a DVD or a VHS tape. Everybody's got their laptop or their phone or their whatever device they have. They're doing their own thing, or they're playing some kind of game on the bus on the way. So it's different than picking a movie that everybody's going to watch together.
Right.
Those days are kind of gone. Every now and then we'll do that, but for the most part, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And this group is so academic minded. Half the time they're buried in some kind of homework, especially as the semester's starting up. And when these kids had almost a 3.7 and this past semester and a cumulative, we were first in the athletic department, 3.71 in cumulative GPA. So. Sometimes I wish they would focus more on the basketball scout for the next team as they do on their upcoming test. But balance in all things, right?
That's right. And do they ever rope you in any of these bus games, or they leave the coaches to do their own thing?
Yeah, not for certainly. I mean, not me. I mean, every now and then they try and play a joke on me or something like that. But
have they gotten you ever?
Oh yeah, sure, for sure. Yeah, they're pretty calculated and crafty with that stuff. Every now and then they catch me, in my age and lack of wisdom and what they're doing. They catch me on some stuff, but for the most part, they know better.
Well, Coach, obviously it was a big time victory over Eastern Michigan, and you guys picked up a big one away from home against Ohio, and then. I thought you were right there with Toledo State for like one spot there in the third quarter, and that's one of the better teams in the league. So a lot to build off of as we get into it, like you said, the tough road stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, conference play, I think overall we've been solid. I mean, obviously we had to draw something up and come up with a miracle against Buffalo, a team that's continued to improve. I didn't like the way we competed and showed up against Miami. Other than that, I think it's kind of chalk at this point. I thought we played well against Toledo. And then Quenisha Lockett had 36, had a career night against us and made some really difficult shots. But I liked how we competed against Toledo better than in the previous game. So stuff to learn from. I mean, it's still early, 13 games left in conference play. There's a lot of basketball left. We have to continue to focus on us and continue to get better.
Well, we hopefully talk about a couple of big road victories when we meet next week and set up for a little home cooking against Western Michigan next Saturday as part of a big, busy weekend.
I would like nothing more. So we'll see what we can come up with, and next time we talk, hopefully it's with a smile on my face.
Well, Coach Starkey, ladies and gentlemen, our women's basketball team away from the friendly confines at BG at Northern Illinois. You can catch those games on ESPN3, ESPN Plus, and of course the Go Flashes app with Tyler Henry on the play-by-play. Coach, thank you very much for a few moments of your time.
Absolutely. Go Flashes.
We'll take a look around what's coming up around the campus of Kent State and talk to Rob Senderoff next here on Flash Talk. It'll be an action-packed weekend here at Kent State University starting on Friday, January 27th. Your Kent State wrestling team is in the Fieldhouse taking on the Southern Illinois at Edwardsville Cougars starting at 6 p.m. That leads us into a 9 o'clock national TV tip-off with your Kent State men's basketball team hosting the Buffalo Bulls on ESPNU. On Saturday afternoon, January the 28th, your women's basketball team is back in action hosting Western Michigan. And our busy weekend wraps up that Sunday with Beauty and the Beast, a dual experience with our gymnastics team and Kent State Wrestling. For tickets and information on these events and more, visit ksutix.com. That's ksutix.com. Coming up on Flash Talk, we'll sit down with head men's basketball coach Rob Senderoff and talk about his squad and the big upcoming matchup against Ball State. And welcome back to the GFTV studios. It's another exciting edition of Flash Talk brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling. I'm Dan Griffin alongside head ball coach Rob Senderoff. And coach, big win, number of big wins since the last time you and I have talked. I believe that's 9 in a row, and that's got to make you feel awful good.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to keep it at 5 in a row because when we start league play, it's a new season. But, it's great to keep winning, and hopefully we can continue that path. We've done it in some different ways here of late, but excited about where we are and also recognizing that we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I thought the defense has been kind of the calling card, especially the last 3 times out. The most recent was a gritty win against an Eastern Michigan team that's got some star power at the top, and you guys kind of held a lead throughout and never allowed Eastern Michigan to kind of get on a roll to make that run that would make it a little uncomfortable at times.
Well, it was uncomfortable for me. But yeah, the last 3 games we've guarded really well, starting with Toledo at home. That was probably our best defensive effort, certainly in league play. They average 86 points a game, and we held them to 63. On the road at Ohio, thought we did a really good job defensively there, especially in the second half. We were flying all over the place. To get deflections and steals and turnovers to create offense. And then, like you said, last Tuesday, Eastern Michigan, Imani Bates and Noah Farrakhan, their whole roster, they have some really talented players and explosive offensive players. And your one-on-one defense is really tested in that game. And they had their moments, but overall, we stood up pretty well.
I think that one of the biggest keys to, like you said, this 5-0 start in league play has been adjustments. You go back to the Ohio game, Dwight Wilson has a strong first half in the post for the Bobcats, and then you guys really kind of deny his ability to get going in the second half. And then against Eastern Michigan, I thought, like you said, it was just great team defense overall. Amani's going to get his, so to speak, but you really kind of clamped down on the rest of the squad.
Yeah, one of the big things that we've done a great job of here, and you may or may not notice it, but we have cut down on our fouls from the non-conference to conference play, and that's made, it's made a huge difference. Keeping teams off the free throw line has been a real point of emphasis within our program here over the last month. Since going down to Texas for the tournament at UTEP, we've been fantastic in that area while still creating turnovers, while still getting our steals. We've done a much better job keeping teams off the free throw line. So it's been something that we've worked on. It's something we've brought officials in to practice with. It's something that we've really made a point of emphasis, is making teams earn their points by shooting over our length or bodies inside, whatever it may be. And that's going to be tested certainly on Friday against Ball State, because they're a really physical team and create a lot of fouls. So, that's going to be a key for this game moving forward. But it's been a big thing for us in conference play. And you say adjustments in game. Certainly, we've had to make some of those. Depending upon the game, what we need to do differently or continue to do. But that's been an adjustment that we've made, starting in finals week, where, we were really making it a point of emphasis to defend without fouling.
Well, and you guys have done a great job in, I don't know what else to kind of call this, creating chaos and then kind of high-risk passes where you're trying to force them to either toss it diagonally or across the court, and then all of a sudden you use your length, you use your speed, your anticipation, and you're almost jumping a route like a free safety, and now you're off and running, or at least getting a deflection and getting them out of rhythm, so to speak, and then forcing them into a kind of either a turnover or a panic shot late in the shot clock. Yeah,
we've done a good job with that, and that's again, for us to consistently be good, we have to bring that defensive intensity to every game. We've done it, again for a pretty long stretch here now. And that'll get tested as we continue to move forward in league play, because teams are going to try to figure out what they can do against us, where our weak spots may be on defense. And as teams start to know you more and more, you've got to constantly be getting better, because if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So we got to keep working on these things. We got to continue to believe in each other offensively, share the ball, make simple plays. We've cut down on our turnovers a great deal here over the last month. And, we're certainly not a perfect team by any stretch, and there's a lot of games ahead of us. But we're progressing, and we're playing good basketball. We're playing for each other, which is the most important thing, and I think we're competing really hard.
It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. It's a 6:30 tip. Notice the kind of odd start time. That's because it's on CBS Sports Network. It's a blackout. We've got a ticket special going on now. If you use the keyword VOTES when you buy your tickets at ksutix.com, that unlocks an $8 general admission ticket. I know you don't want to probably focus in on that. That goes.
Why is VOTES the?
Because you're receiving 8 votes in the AP Top 25 poll, and we've got a big game against Ball State, 1 versus 2 in the Mid-American Conference standings, and Ball State coming off a gritty win of their own against Western Michigan. But you look at the stats of the team as a whole with Ball State. This is to me, a team that screams balance. They got 3 or 4 guys in double figures or near double figures, and they've welcomed back a guard who was there, who was the MAC freshman of the year. He went to Missouri, now he's back, and Peyton Sparks, and they do a little bit of everything really, really well.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. So, amongst the top teams in the league, I certainly expected them to be with all the players they have returning from last year's team. A lot of times it just takes another year. They had a lot of young players last year that are playing like they're a year older. You mentioned Jerron Coleman. Boogie Coleman is his name. Coming back to them, he was the freshman of the year. He certainly had a huge impact on them, and they're a good team. So I was wondering, because that votes thing, it's probably my own naivete to not figure out why is votes the thing. I knew it was $8 because we had 8 votes in the AP poll. I just didn't realize. I didn't put it together. I got too much. I don't have enough time to be thinking about all these things.
That's our job.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, why is votes? This isn't a political thing now, is it? Like, okay, it's 8 votes in the AP poll. Very good. Whoever came up with that idea, it went right over my head, but very good. So, yeah, hopefully we have a great crowd. I mean, it's the first game back with our students here. It's a blackout. I saw the promotion. It's on national TV. I think this is our first home game this year that's going to be nationally televised. Like, these games, to me, we have an unbelievable university. these games allow, the Kent State story to get told. So people at home that are watching get a chance to see, what the environment is like at the Mac Center, want to be a part of it when they're making their college choices all around the country. And this is a great opportunity for us. And we get a number of them here coming up. And this is our first one with our students back in town. So it'd be great to get people here. I appreciate everybody doing what they're doing to get the promotions out about our team, and then hopefully our guys can go out there and perform at a high level, because we're going to have to. Ball State's, like I said, I think they're as good as anybody in the league, and it's going to they pose a lot of challenges with their perimeter guys. The big kid inside, Sparks, is a really good player, and they're a tough physical team. So we're expecting a heck of a game tomorrow night. Our guys are really prepared and excited to get their first chance to play here in the Mac Center in front of our students, the band, the whole deal. So come on out, 6:30, right, Friday, and be great to have everybody here.
Doors open at 5:30. That's when that ticket deal will expire. So get those tickets early at ksutix.com. Got a number of pregame festivities going on, as well as including a discounted happy hour. So get here and get your food, get your drink, get ready to go for a nice game.
No happy hour for me.
No happy hour for you. You were plenty busy on the sidelines.
But
we
that's
don't
good.
need anything else kind of taking you away from your focus at hand there. But like we said, this is a team you guys play with immense intensity, and you guys play more. This is the most together team I've seen in my 4 years here. You guys, the team looks like they're having fun playing for each other. There's the Sincere to Chris Payton connection is one of my favorite things, because it comes out of nowhere, and Sincere seeing things that I don't see, and Chris jumps way higher than I ever could dream, and just the joy that. The excitement and the energy that they play really kind of shines out on the court.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get to 15-3, right? So that doesn't happen all the time. We've had a lot of good teams here. We've had a lot of good teams here, and we haven't had many that have started out the way that this one has. Coming off last year where we won 14 in a row and then lost in the conference championship game and then the postseason game. But we've had a great run, and we've got to try to continue it and try to keep getting better. I think Chris Payton, that you mentioned, he's getting better each game, each day. We have a lot of guys. Jalen played really well in our last game. I think Vaughn has even more to give, but he made some huge plays. In both of our wins against Ohio, he took a huge charge in that game. Miami of Ohio, a huge charge, gave up his body. He's battling against bigger, stronger guys. So our kids compete. I mean, that's it may not always be the prettiest thing in the world, but in terms of how hard they play and how much they play together, I don't think that could be questioned at all. And then we're going to need to play well, against these guys, which, hopefully we can do that tomorrow with the energy of the crowd and knowing that it's on TV and the whole deal. Hopefully we can come out and give a great performance, because that's what we'll need to win the game.
Again, it's ksutix.com. It's a blackout. We've got the happy hour special going on. We're going to be giving away some T-shirts, and we need you here. And if you can't be here, we need you watching on CBS Sports Network or listening on 850 ESPN Cleveland or through the Go Flashes app. And Coach, really quick, we got Ball State, then we disappear to go to the longest trip of the year out to Northern for a quick one-off, and then we're back and better than ever for another trip on national television with 9 o'clock against Buffalo. So it's awesome that the MAC is giving us these opportunities to showcase the team and the university and the MAC on this national stage.
Yeah, to me that's something that your players really work for. I think that's one of the cool things about our conference is they move those games as your team does well, and if your team does well, they move games from Saturday to Friday to give you that national exposure. So this is the first of 4 straight that we're playing, or actually last week was the first of 4 straight, at Ohio, Ball State at home, Buffalo at home, at Akron. So we get 4 straight opportunities to play on national TV. Great exposure for our university, our basketball program, and that's again why recruits, everybody gets to see these games. So last week, if you look, we did win 2 games last week, but this week we got votes in the AP poll. I think because of our game on national TV Friday. That's everybody. There's not many games on, so you get seen. People across the country are getting a chance to watch our school and watch our program, see our athletic department, see everything that the university has here, and we're going to give everything we got tomorrow, and then plug up to Northern Illinois and come back Friday for ESPN game against Buffalo and keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling. That's what we're going to try to do.
The 3 losses are 3 ranked teams, ladies and gentlemen. So get out here and support your Golden Flashes and see what all the hype is about. You will not be disappointed. Coach, thank you for a few moments of your time. Let's keep, like you said, let's keep this rolling.
Keep it rolling. Thanks.